It's March 1995, and I'm 17 years old. My mom, dad, and I are sitting in a doctor's office at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. The doctor walks in, sits down, and he says, "Mr. and Mrs. Graybill, we know what's wrong with your son. He has limb-girdle muscular dystrophy. It's a genetic disease in which he inherited 2 mutated genes, one from you both. And this gene is responsible for a muscle protein. And because his is mutated, his muscles get weaker and smaller over time. Eventually, he'll be in a wheelchair, dependent on you to take care of him. There is no treatment. There's no cure. I'm sorry." Sitting there, the only thing that I could think of, well, there was many things. And one was, what career could I do? What woman would date me, let alone marry me? I'm going to live with my parents the rest of my life. And my life is over. My mom did not want me to live my life this way, and she knew just the man who could help me. He was known as the father of motivation, and he was coming to Cedar Crest College in Allentown, Pennsylvania that summer. The title of his talk was "Pulling Your Own Strings," and his name was Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Sitting there listening to Dyer talk, I learned many things. One of the most important things that I learned from him that day was when he said, you need to love and value who you are as a person. I didn't love myself. I didn't love being me. But sitting there listening to him talk, it gave me hope. I left there, enrolled in college to study psychology because I wanted to be and do what Wayne Dyer had done for me, for other people, give them hope that they can still lead and live a wonderful life. And there is where I met Erica. Erica was beautiful. She was confident, funny, outgoing, everything that I was not. And we started dating. But I didn't tell her that I had muscular dystrophy. A couple weeks had gone by and she caught me walking up the stairs. And at the time, I had to hold on to the railing with my one arm. And with my other hand, I had to put it on my thigh and pull and push to get up a step. And she saw this. And she said, "John, what's wrong?" I thought, do I lie to her? Do I tell her that I was in a car accident and hurt my back, or that I was injured playing football, both of which were not true? But there was something inside me that said, no, you have to tell her the truth. But more importantly, you have to tell yourself the truth. And so I did. She didn't seem concerned or worried at all, which made me feel that this was the one who would accept me and love me. But I hadn't heard from her for a week. And when she finally did return my phone call, she said, "John, I don't want to date you anymore. I don't want to date you because I don't know if in 5 years or not you'll be in a wheelchair, and I can't handle that." But what I heard her say was, "John, you're no good. You'll be alone. No one will love you." I didn't date another woman for 10 years because I was afraid that that's what they all thought. One night I was journaling, and I realized and remembered something. I realized that I had spent my life looking for approval outside of myself, looking for a woman to love me, to say, John, you are worth it. And I may spend the rest of my life doing that and never find her. And I'll look back and say, what did I do? I wasted my life. Or I can start loving myself right now, like Wayne Dyer had said. And the way that I knew I had to do that is I had to look in the mirror and say to myself, I love you. I then remembered the second thing, another thing that Wayne Dyer had said at that talk in 1995. He had said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change. Up until that time in my life, I had seen my disease as my greatest punisher. And I knew that I needed to start seeing my disease as my greatest teacher, that it is here to teach me something, and it's up to me to decide and figure out what those lessons are. And so that's what I did for the rest of my life. And I have to tell you that by telling myself in the mirror, day after day, week after week, month after month, that I love you, I eventually started to feel that. And as I changed my perspective and saw my life as teaching me lessons and looking for them, I became more at peace. And I loved who I was, loved who I am, and enjoyed life. And that's when I met Darcy, my wife. And then we had a daughter. And we bought our house, and I'm not living with my parents. And they're right there. Thank you.